Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, my dad threw a fit because everyone was complimenting the cake my 9-year-old daughter baked on her birthday instead of paying attention to him. Demands invitation to my daughter's birthday party. I'm tempted to finally call it after discovering my dad cut down the 5-foot hibiscus in my garden. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My dad threw a fit because everyone was complimenting the cake my 9-year-old daughter baked on her birthday instead of paying attention to him. My daughter had her 9th birthday last week. Since she was very young, she accompanied me in nearly everything I did. As I like to cook and bake, she also had already plenty of experience with helping by making various dishes and cakes. For her last birthday, however, she wanted to go first time all solo. Meaning I was to sit and wait in case she had a question, but everything else was her. She was incredibly proud, and so was I. From picking the recipe, measuring, mixing, etc. The only thing I did was pull it out of the oven. She then proceeded to make the frosting and decorate the cake again all by herself. Needless to say, everybody was very proud of her, and she was really looking forward to share her cake with the family and chip in with everyone about her process. My mom is a baker also, and she heavily complimented my daughter, how wonderful the cake looked and tasted, and soon all of us will be coming to daughter for advice. Daughter was glooming with joy. Everybody complimented daughter as the cake was indeed delicious and beautiful. That was apparently too much for my dad, who started to get increasingly fuzzy. First off, he started his "maybe you are trying to poison us with this" jokes, and I sushed him. Then when everybody asked daughter about how she did it, he got louder and louder, interrupting her to tell us all that he is also capable of making cake / his cakes will always taste better / it wasn't even a difficult cake, etc. Every time somebody else told him to be quiet, as it was daughter's moment. So he waited to let the stupid cake talk pass and then started interrupting every conversation that followed just to make it all about him. When that failed, he got louder and talked with increased volume so he would be heard. He even kind of pounded when she opened her presents, as nobody asked what he thought of the presents. So yeah, dear people of Reddit, that is my dad. Trapped in the body of a 65-year-old man with the mind of a bratty 3-year-old. Edit, I am sorry, I cannot reply to everyone individually, but here it is evening and I am busy getting dinner done, etc. One thing I wanted to point, however, is, yes, my dad has been like this all his life. I remember when I was in elementary school, my teachers picked me out for a gifted kids program. My dad had me for weeks on end look through his university notes to show me how much better his understanding of maths was in university compared to first grader me. Hence prove I am not at all more gifted than he was and is. Sorry for my not native speaker English BTW. And I have to say sorry, my phone fell into my youngest trusting hands that day and she decided to help mommy by cleaning it up in the dishwasher. So we have no pictures that day and the cake was eaten up instantly. I am baffled. Your dad should have asked where his presents were. He kind of did. My dad had his birthday 2 weeks prior. As my parents' bathroom is in really bad shape, we kids decided to not get him something but instead open a savings account for a bathroom remodeling. Now every birthday and festivity my parents get a few hundreds by each of us. My mom loved that idea and is excitedly waiting until our goal is reached, while my dad never fails to mention how he doesn't get real presents anymore, which he also did at daughter's birthday. The only thing missing was your dad throwing himself on the floor to have a full tantrum. Next time your dad bakes something, say you're 9 years old, was better. I would call him out. Hey dad, are you that starved for attention that you have to sabotage a 9-year-old girl's birthday party? Really? How old are you again? Classic narcissist. I'm so sorry you all got stuck with him. Demands invitation to my daughter's birthday party. It's probably not as flashy as other stories here, but still entitled and starring a mom. My daughter, 4, pretty much gets along with most of the kids in kindergarten. So her birthday used to be kind of a bigger event. This year, instead of the usual pool party, she wanted to visit a specific, kid-friendly theme park. This means more costs and stress for us, transportation, but also supervising, so we opted to only invite the kids she is close to. All of them have been regularly inviting her as well for playtime and their own birthdays. One of the kids who didn't get an invite this year never had invited my daughter to birthday or playdates. Also, my daughter told me that girl is not her friend and calls her ugly because of her glasses. Said child didn't get an invite this year but was invited last year. Her mom then approached me today. So, up daughter, birthday is all the talk right now. All the kids are excited. Me, yes, my daughter is also really looking forward to it. Do you have a schedule yet? Me, a rough one, but we still have time to figure it out. Any suggestions for a gift? Me, well, you don't need to get us anything. We also did not get one for your kid. Yes, but my daughter was not invited, so she didn't need to get a gift. Me, exactly. Silence. Wait, do you mean we're not invited to my daughter's birthday? Me, yes. Sorry, but we wanted to go smaller this year as the trip is more expensive. But my kid is looking forward to it. Me, sorry. I am sure you can still go whenever you want. No, she wants to go with her friends. Me, invite them and she can. Haha. Very funny. What about the party and the cake? This is ridiculous. My daughter will feel left out. You're a bully. At this point, I just shrugged and went my way. Edit, I wanted to add that I think it was absolutely okay for her to not invite my daughter as they are financially in a different place. I wouldn't shame them for it or not invite her kid over it. She didn't get an invite because my daughter simply stopped liking her after she started calling her ugly. The mean kid literally bullies Oop's daughter, but accuses them of bullying because they don't get to a birthday party? Perhaps if had bothered to teach her child basic manners, they would have been invited. But she didn't, instead her kid is a Karen or Kyle in training. Hope the kids have a great time without the real bully. Gee, I can't imagine where the daughter learned to be a bully. Yes, but my daughter was not invited, so she didn't need to get a gift. If you want to be invited to our parties, invite us to yours. See how that works? So it was okay for her not to invite your daughter, but not okay for you not to invite her daughter? That's not how it works. I'm tempted to finally call it after discovering my dad cut down the 5-foot hibiscus in my garden. What was the reason? Everyone in my family makes excuses for his constant BS, gives him the benefit of the doubt, calls his actions neurotic instead of, more accurately, problematic. My one sister always quick to remind me of his other qualities that make him a good dad if I dare try to express and seek some validity in feeling betrayed by how he can treat me. For 34 years I've tolerated his egregious behavior and I'm deciding if I hit my limit. Yeah, so he cut down my gorgeous hibiscus like a varsity lunatic. Stole it? Still wrapping my head around really both the what and the why. Me and my husband and my baby were walking around the yard before her bedtime tonight. It was already dark and my husband, who lol usually so aloof, noticed my favorite flowering bush was not there. We live in a northern state and have already got frost, but this sweet miracle of a hardy hibiscus was still flourishing. Perfection. There were 5 open flowers, big beautiful candy swirl blooms. Gone. Whole plant cut clean at the base. My parents had just left earlier in the afternoon from visiting for a whopping 2 days. They refused to ever stay long, but this was by far their shortest visit. And they live nearly 5 hours away. And they refused to stay at our house, always get a hotel. So all in all, me and my baby got to actually see them for maybe a combined 3 hours? And mostly my mom. My dad doesn't participate in quality time. It doesn't serve him. He stays outside on his phone the whole time or runs errands, or messes with / modifies my garden. He usually just plants more plants and flowers. But he's planted over tulip bulbs before and mowed my wildflowers not fully bloomed yet. Because he doesn't ask and doesn't think he needs to. He just does what he wants, and if I take issue with it, he responds like I'm a stupid ingrate who has a lot of nerve to care about what the garden she tends to summer lawn looks like and yields. Because he's here, very briefly, 5 times a year, and deserves to call those shots about a property he doesn't own. And if consequentially it actually gives me more work instead of helps me out, well, I'd better eat glass before I mention so. More examples of this in the same spirit. He's taken my car to get a tune-up while I was sleeping, without my permission, and threw away so much necessary paperwork, an unused gift card, my husband's one-hitter, a couple of my daughter's toys he said were too dirty to be worth saving, plus gum, pens, and air fresheners he didn't like the smell of. Because he also got it cleaned. I was to be grateful and not inquire further or act as if those items mattered. Or else. He's thrown away everything in my fridge that was opened, or not to his standard, i.e. a brand new thing of mayonnaise because it was Kraft instead of Hellmann's. Replaced it all, not even close, with better, what he likes, products. He's taken my dog to get groomed without her proof of rabies vaccination, without me knowing he was going. BC he's only on brand if he doesn't ask. He called me up, while I was at work, hollering and cursing about how I need to get my vet to call the groomer stat because he's too old to be dealing with this kind of horseshit and I should have her tag updated and the dog is a pain in his ass and he doesn't have time for this. You better believe I did as I was told and probably apologized instead of hanging up on his dizzy ass as you know, a normal adult would when they're infantilized just for existing in someone else's problem. One time when I was visiting them he decided I was drinking too much coffee. So he replaced the regular coffee grounds with decaf. One evening I saw a decaf bag of coffee in the cereal cabinet. And I was like oh decaf, yay. And I went to make a pot. BC I'm an adult who recognizes her biology and doesn't drink caffeine after a certain time. It's as if I've fully grown and been to Earth for 30 plus years. My dad stopped me and chuckled and told me I couldn't have it. Just kept saying it was special. Wouldn't fess up to why. My mom told me what he'd done after he started getting agitated, that I wouldn't drop it. And when I acted horrified at his actual entitlement to arbitrating my coffee consumption, with basically just a stunned silence, he threw his hands in the air and told me that I gotta take better care of myself while walking out of the room / ending any kind of discussion before it started. I have no idea what my dad cut down this hibiscus for. I didn't even know he was in the garden while he was here. He's so sneaky for zero reason. It wasn't in their car when they left. Did he give it to someone? Truly can't think who. Did he plant it somewhere else? If he wanted a couple of the flowers, I would have without hesitation given him some. It's beneath him to ask though. I'm not sure how or when I want to inquire what happened to it. I could go on the offense. I could finally disengage once and for all, no warning, no discussion. I think I'm too cut down for that though. It's like he knows I am. Stop letting them visit your house, and if they ask why, tell them that after the hibiscus incident you do not trust your dad around your property. Let them have it. What he is doing is massively disrespectful, and if he cannot respect your property then he can see his grandchild on neutral turf. But he doesn't see his grandchild. He is not participating in quality time with the little one. Instead, he runs havoc in his daughter's house and life. Sounds like he wants to continue exerting control over you. How dare you not bow down and acquiesce to his superiority? But she bows down and acknowledges his control instead of standing up against him. I have read this short summary and my blood is boiling. I am also a pushover, but these things would have pushed me over the edge. Opie had to set boundaries and must enforce them or she will never feel home at her house. Why do you tolerate this? Are you thinking he's gonna be respectful and kind to your child? He sounds erratic. Just go no contact already. He's not going to change and you don't want him hurting your child because he knows better than you. Just excise that human-sized tumor from your life. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.